Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Katie Asco from Dublin, Ireland, and these are your latest headlines from around the world. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, was given a rousing reception in Athens, the capital of Greece, on Saturday, December 4th. At 1:10 p.m. local time, the Aegean flight carrying Pope Francis and his entourage landed at the international airport, where Foreign Minister Nikos Dendias gave him a red carpet welcome. This began the second leg of the Holy Father's 35th apostolic visit. The Pope was greeted on the tarmac by children in traditional attire. Also present were the Apostolic Nuncio, the President of the Synod of the Catholic Hierarchy, and the Catholic Archbishop of Athens. After greeting them all, His Holiness headed to the Presidential Palace in the capital to meet the President and Prime Minister. Earlier in the day, he was given a ceremonial send-off at Larnaca International Airport in Cyprus at 8:30 a.m. local time. On the tarmac were President Nikos Anastasiades, Catholic as well as Orthodox bishops, and other dignitaries to bid farewell to the head of the Vatican city-state. Pope Francis addressed members of civil society, government officials, and members of the diplomatic corps in Athens on Saturday after he held talks with the President and Prime Minister at the Presidential Palace. In his address, the Pope stressed the significance of democracy and neighbourly love in the country, calling them necessary pillars for a renewed humanism. He said the surrounding water reminds us of Greece's mission as a bridge uniting diverse people. He reminded them that politics should be the art of the common good, with the weaker strata of society receiving priority. Addressing the migrants issue, the Holy Father noted that Greece is a major entry point in the European Union for asylum seekers fleeing conflict and poverty. He compared the fate of today's migrants and refugees, many of whom have died at sea, to a horrendous modern odyssey. He urged leaders to lead the country in openness and justice. His Holiness Pope Francis made history by seeking forgiveness for the shortcomings of Catholics in the past which had led to the straining of ties with the Greek Church. His Holiness sought forgiveness and acknowledged the faults of Catholics in the past during his meeting with Archbishop Hieronymus, the Archbishop of Athens and the head of the Orthodox Church in Greece, in Athens on Saturday. He made this admission after the head of the Orthodox Church in Greece revealed how past actions of the Catholic Church and its aloofness to Greece's struggle for independence in the 19th century deeply hurt believers. The Pope also pointed out that the roots of both churches are apostolic, and that notwithstanding the twists and turns of time, that God continues to grow and bear fruit in the same spirit. Also present in the room were Orthodox and Roman Catholic prelates. Greeting the small Catholic community of Greece at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Dionysius in Athens, Pope Francis said that being a minority is a blessing that allows us to trust God and God alone. Addressing the bishops, priests, religious, consecrated persons, seminarians, and the catechists, His Holiness reminded them that being a minority, which the Church is throughout the world, does not mean being insignificant. Instead, it brings them closer to the path loved by the Lord, acknowledging that many times along the way, the faithful might feel weary and even frustrated, operating in a climate that is not always favourable. The Holy Father reminded that the Apostle Paul also evangelized amidst adversity. He encouraged them to go forward by putting trust in God. Refugees on the island of Lesbos are eagerly awaiting the arrival of Pope Francis, whose visit is just hours away. On Sunday morning, His Holiness will travel to the Reception and Identification Centre in Mytilene in Lesbos. This will be the second time the Holy Father will be visiting refugees on the island. His first visit was in 2016, when he urged the EU to reform their asylum seeker policy. While returning, he charted history by taking with him 3 Syrian families comprising 12 people. They were granted asylum in Italy. In the afternoon, Pope Francis will return to Athens to celebrate Mass at the Megaron Concert Hall. His Holiness will also welcome the courtesy visit of His Beatitude Hieronymus II, the Archbishop of Athens, at the Apostolic Nunciature. In Ethiopia, days after the arrest of Ursuline nun, Sister Abaret Tserma, 5 nuns of the Congregation of the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul, and 2 deacons by the Ethiopian forces, their whereabouts remain unknown. As all the nuns arrested are of Tigray origin, there are fears that they could be harmed. 48-year-old Sister Tserma, a kindergarten teacher, was arrested by government forces on the night of November 30th. Expressing concern over the arrest, Mother Raffaella Pedrini, Superior General of the Ursulines of Gadino, said that they were unaware of the reason for the arrest. It is believed that the arrests could be because the religious are of Tigray origin. The Ethiopian government, headed by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, has ordered wide-scale arbitrary arrests of Tigrayans across the country. Nigeria has become an increasingly dangerous place for Christians in recent years. In the latest incident, an association of Muslim Fulani herdsmen has warned Christian believers in Nigeria's Zamfara state not to conduct public worship in churches upon threat of attack and abduction. In a letter circulated by the Office of the State Police Chief, the association warned that churches will be burned to the ground if worship is conducted. The association made it clear that no Christian worship will be allowed for the next 3 years. Police top brass made it clear that all divisions have been alerted to deploy personnel at churches during service hours. On November 19th, a letter reached the police headquarters in Gusau, in which the association also warned that if worship continues, they will hunt down pastors and kidnap them and their families. Those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow and visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.